If you were to ask me what my favorite movie genre is, I would say comedy and action and horror. A lot of movie genres. Because yes, I am a movie buff. So of course I like a lot of movie genres, but Western films are up there. There's a lot of great Western films. I don't think there's a Western film that I would actually necessarily call really bad. I'd say that all of them are rather okay, so-so, to excellent, amazing, and my favorite movie of all time, the best film I have ever seen in my life, is a Western movie. So that's why today I'm going to be ranking every single Western movie that I've seen from worst to best. Tell me in the comments how you rank all the Western movies you've seen or what your favorite Western movies are. Also, I'm not talking about every single Western movie that has ever been around, because then this list would be about, I'd say, 10 hours long. No, only the Western movies I've seen in the last 8 months or so. So yeah, 3:10 to Yumida, Unforgiven, Django Unchained, No Country for Old Men, The Searchers, all of them not on this list. I am sorry, but I haven't seen them yet. But other than that, I have some pretty great ones. I have some pretty so-so ones. So let's rank them from worst to best. And sit back, relax, and let's begin. In last place is Death Rides on a Horse. Now, I know this has an actor from the Dollars trilogy that showed up in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and For a Few Dollars More. So, yeah, it's kind of fun to see this actor who's been in a lot of Western movies star in his very own Western movie. But other than that, this is a very not so good film. It actually has a story that would be a very good Western movie in itself. I think the plot of these two people who have this group of gangsters and criminals who've been their history and are big parts of their past that they want to kill. I think that it's a pretty nice premise and a very nice revenge story, but the way it's executed, the way it's shot, and by the fact that it's a TV movie, a movie that was originally aired on TV, makes this film not as good as it really should be. For instance, it has to be the worst quality for a film I have ever seen in my life. It isn't really grainy, you can barely see what's happening. So it's like a film from the 1910s. Actually, I've seen films from the 1910s that had better quality than this. I've seen Laurel and Hardy cartoons with better quality. So let's just say from the 1870s, that's how bad the quality is. It's really, really grainy, and you can barely see what the hell is happening. From there, it's kind of bland. The story moves a little bit slow, and it's kind of hard to follow the plot because you literally can't see it. It's like listening to a movie and only seeing a part of it. So because of that, with the fact that it's a TV movie, so it looks a little bit cheap, not only with the grainy footage, but with the production itself, I think this is just a very bad Western movie. I mean, not entirely bad. I still kind of had a fun time watching it, but you can barely see what's happening. It's very grainy, and one of the only Western movies on this list that I am not going to see again or wish to see again. But next up on our list is My Name is Nobody. After making two of the best Western movies of all time, Sergio Leone got the idea of, hey, what if I made a comedy? A comedy. This has to be the weirdest film on this list. For instance, it's directed by Sergio Leone, one of the greatest filmmakers of all time, has made some of the greatest Western movies of all time. I'm gonna add later on this list. But here, for whatever reason, this film in particular, he chooses to do this type of comedy, this goofball comedy, with this Western film. So because of that, the acting is goofy, the music from Ennio Morricone is goofy, and you're just taking these great filmmakers who have made some wonderful movies and beautiful masterpieces and making this a fish out of water comedy, which is really goofy and cheesy. Of course, there's a lot of things to love about this film because, yeah, it is made by a lot of great composers and filmmakers, and there's some great actors in it. So it does have some pretty nice things in it. Of course, Henry Fonda's multi-layered performance and charismatic role was pretty nice. He's my favorite character in the movie. Probably one of my only favorite characters. I like how they don't make the villain that obvious. I mean, it's just 150 people called the Wild Horde. That's the main villain. That's it. You don't really get the name of the leader or anything. And I like that. There's a lot of beautifully shot scenes in this movie. The Wild Horde scene was pretty nice. It was just a beautiful scene, and the music actually fit in quite well. And I just wish they ended the movie right there, because then it would be a great ending where they didn't have to over-explain or overstate everything that just happened. You see, that could have been a great way to end the movie. And it's just a great scene in general and just boosts up the movie by 100. There's a lot of nice action in this film, which not trying to pull out a joke from you. But other than that, you cannot take these great filmmakers to a genre they do not know making. For instance, these people are not people who make comedy movies. So I don't think they really do a good job with this comedy movie. It's not funny. It might got 2 laughs from me, but that's it. It's not that funny of a film or a comedy film. So once it tries to pull a laugh out of you, when it tries to be funny, that's where the film starts going downward. So even though it has these beautifully directed scenes and great filmmakers and people working on this film, it's just mixed in with a lot of crude humor that does not fit well with this film. Next up is News of the World. Out of all the Western movies I've talked about, it's not the weirdest in any ways. It doesn't have the worst quality. It just doesn't really feel like a Western movie. I mean, it's not really a Western movie. It's not about these people trying to get revenge on this criminal group. It's not a gang fighting another gang or a cowboys fighting cowboys, a duel. It's not supposed to be like that, like your normal Western movies. It's actually pretty different because it's not really a Western movie. It just takes place in the Western genre. Actually, it's about this old man and this girl who's lost from her family. The old man trying to find this girl's family, although being a little bit slow. It can have some nice action at times. It can have some very sad moments at times. At the end, I liked it enough. It was a little bit slow moving. It didn't really have that much to offer, but Tom Hanks' performance really carries it through. The heart of the movie is this relationship between an old man and this girl, and there's a lot of good scenes in this film, like the shootout through the rocks, and Tom Hanks does a really good job. You can see it in his eyes when he's thinking something, and one of the best performances he's had in the last 4 years or so, next to Sully. But other than that, I think this is just a very slow-moving Western drama that doesn't really have that much to offer aside good acting, nice drama, and a few fun scenes with nice action. But to keep this video shorter, I am actually going to split up to 4 parts. So this is part 1, and I'm going to upload the other parts soon. I'll be reviewing Shang-Chi, Legend of the Ten Rings, pretty soon, so be sure to watch that. And this has been Schofield Studios, where you're the audience and cut.